Everybody, I hope you're doing well as we definitely roll into spring here and into May. Markets have been on a bit of a rebound. This will be some follow-up charts to a couple weeks ago when I was suggesting through those charts that history was saying markets were looking like they might turn. Of course, timing the market's impossible and nobody ever knows until we see it in the rearview mirror. But history was showing us some positive signs. I'm just going to follow up on some of those. Of course, lots of news to come. We have our Prime Minister set with Mark Carney. He's down in the States talking about tariffs with President Trump right now. So I'm sure there'll be more volatility as we move along. But just follow up on those charts. Sell in May and go away is a very common industry term, investment term. As we've seen over the last 10 years, this has not been a good strategy. 9 of the last 10 years have been positive. Only 2019 were we negative in May, average of 0.9%. So a 1 month return of 0.9%, multiply that by 12 with compounding, you've got a great return. So not a good strategy, but it does suggest the term suggesting that the next few months will be weaker. Historically, they've been weaker through the summer than in the winter, the fall, winter, and early in the year. But as we can see here, would not have been wise to be not invested in May. Look at the recovery we've had. So again, this is the US market, not quite a bull market, down 20%, but very close at the bottom, and it rebounded quite well over the last 3 weeks or so. And you can see this is those green diamonds showing the point of time where the markets had rebounded the 50% that they had lost from the bottom of that bear market. So recovering 50% of that loss. And what happens after that, you can kind of see through this chart that generally positive after those green diamonds. And I can show you what that looks like in numbers here. So you can see in a few of those cases, after that 50% rebound, there has been a little bit of a retest there, 1, 3, 6 months out. But none of those cases going back to 1958 has 12 months later has the market's been negative, and you can see that average for the 12 months from that low of 18.3%. So very positive. Again, these are historical numbers. Nobody knows what's going to happen going forward, but only in one case, and that was 2022, was there a new low retested after that rebound. Every other case, we've kind of moved forward from then, especially looking 12 months out. So another positive sign. 9-day winning streak, which is relatively uncommon in the markets for them to move that quickly. There's been some headlines out there, so I just wanted to put this in front of you. There's some headlines out there that a 9-day winning streak is almost always happens in a recession. So we did some digging, and what do we find? Did that 9-day win streak happen during a recession? You can see that only in 3 of those 29 cases where we had a 9-day win streak was that during a recession. So unlikely, not to say we can't move into a recession from here, but unlikely that that's the case. Generally positive when you get 9 days in a row that the markets are moving up. And last but not least, just a reminder, of course, we've had negative news. I mean, for some, Liberation Day could be put on here as the bad news, but you can see all of these other terrible events that have happened over history. Of course, some of them causing market corrections and bear markets. But look at the long term. If you just sat out on the sidelines, worried about bad news coming or the current bad news situation, you'd miss out on massive gains and, of course, lose out to inflation as well. So keep that in mind. Not to say your portfolio shouldn't be optimized for your risk level and your objectives, i.e. if you're needing cash in the short term, likely not wanting to take risk with that, but also diversifying globally and into various asset classes that'll move that aren't as correlated to each other, so that you aren't hit quite as hard when one of those investments moves is a little more volatile than the rest. So keep that all in mind. Any questions, of course, let me know. Happy to chat. Until next time, take care and enjoy the sunshine.